Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Kaylin Cockreel. Thanks for joining us. Election Day is right around the corner, and city officials would like to encourage residents to make their voices heard by casting a ballot during the Tuesday, November 8th general election. Offices up for election include mayor, which is a 4-year term. Candidates are Gene Winstead and Hans Anderson. Council member at large is also up for election. It is a 4-year term, and the candidates include Tim Bussey and Mike Lehman. Also, council member for District 3 is up for election. Candidates are Jack Beloga and Russ Burnison. This is a 2-year term. And finally, council member for District 4 is up. Vern Wilcox is running unopposed for this 2-year term. The city has 32 polling locations around Bloomington. Polling sites will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Election Day, which again is Tuesday, November 8th. If you have any questions about what precinct you should be voting at, how to fill out a ballot, or registration information, visit the city's website. Keyword search "vote" and find answers to all your questions. Back in September, City Public Works employees attended the annual American Water Works Association conference, where they received kudos for participating in National Drinking Water Week. City of Bloomington communications team produced this video to celebrate a nationwide event running from May 1st through the 7th. National Drinking Water Week allows water professionals the chance to join together with the communities they serve to recognize the vital role water plays in our daily lives. And at the conference, Bloomington staff was presented with the Excellence for Community Service Award for the promotion of the public water supply, promotion of water awareness, and participation in National Drinking Water Week. Way to go, Public Works and Communications. Bloomington police have been a presence at the Mall of America for a number of years now, and in an effort to ensure that all of the businesses and vendors know how to respond in case of an emergency, the Bloomington police officials believe practice makes perfect. Take a look.
The Mall of America actually practices lockdown drills twice a month during their retail hours.
The lockdown concept is relatively new to malls. The idea came from lockdown initiatives taking shape in schools. Officer Dan Murphy, who retired this past summer, was instrumental in developing a lockdown procedure to protect retail workers, business owners, and patrons in a crisis situation.
On average, active shooter situation lasts 8 minutes. And so that's a lot of time, and a lot of things can happen. And in a mall this size, person can move great distances and can be here where the problem is, but within 8 minutes can be on the other side of the mall. So we needed to come up with something that we can safeguard our people, our employees, and our visitors.
If an emergency situation were to occur at the Mall of America, here is what would happen. A siren would sound and shoppers would be asked to clear the hallways and enter the nearest store. Stores would then dim their lights and close and secure their gates and doors. Shoppers and employees would be directed to the back of the store and wait for an automated call or a PA system alert letting stores know the drill or actual lockdown is over.
We have about 90 to 95% success rate with the stores. We'll monitor, when we do these drills, we'll monitor the stores to make sure that people are in compliance with what we're asking them to do. And we get a pretty high compliance rate. And there's ongoing education and training that goes along with that to keep them and the new stores and the new employees up to date on how it works.
With more than 43 million visitors each year at the Mall of America, the Bloomington Police Unit makes it their mission to provide safe and secure shopping experiences for everyone that visits the mall. To date, the entire mall has never gone into a lockdown, but there have been incidents in the past that have caused parts of the mall to be locked down. And Bloomington police are asking residents, do you have what it takes to become a reserve officer? The city is now taking application for volunteer officers. Police reserves work alongside sworn police officers and assist with daily police activities, providing traffic direction and security for large public and private events. Reserve officers receive first responder certification and use of force training as part of their training academy. To download a volunteer application, visit the city's website. Keyword search Police Reserve. Print it out, as you do need an original signature on it, and drop it off at the police department. Eligibility requirements for police reserve officers include a valid driver's license and a good driving record. The applicant must be 18 years of age or older, must be able to pass a background check, and have no felony convictions. And what many may not know is that reserve officers do not need to live or work in Bloomington. With the holiday season right around the corner, City Public Health wants to do whatever they can to make sure residents in and around Bloomington have access to healthy, reasonably priced food. That's why they became involved with a group called Fare for All, an emergency food shelf network that recently opened an express location in Richfield. One Tuesday per month at the Richfield Community Center, you will find a group of volunteers busy packaging, unloading, and selling fruits, vegetables, and frozen meats at a discounted rate.
What we do is we buy food in bulk from wholesalers. It's all good quality, top quality produce, brand name frozen meats. And because we're buying in such bulk, we're able to sell it at a reduced rate. So it's generally about 30 to 40% less than you'd pay at a typical grocery store.
This Fare for All location in Richfield opened in September, and despite being a brand new location, more than 100 people came by and purchased a food package. And unlike many food programs, residents don't have to meet certain guidelines to purchase Fare for All's discounted food packages.
Fare for All is a really great program because it's easy. There aren't any hoops to jump through, there's no income requirements, there's no pre-registration. It's totally open to anyone, so it's a lot like a grocery store. The only difference is that we sell food in packages. So we're going to get the best deals on items, put them in a package. It's going to be different fruits and veggies, different meat items, and then you just come anytime that we're at the Richfield Community Center, which is once a month, and you just purchase food.
Package prices range anywhere between $10 and $30. Residents can stretch their food budget a long way using the Fare for All program.
This is our meat-only package this month, and it's for $11. You get all 4 of these items for $11, and all the meat products are frozen. And this is our produce this month. You get all these items for $10. There's potatoes, carrots, onions, there's squash, oranges, and apples. If you wanted to buy both the meat and the produce together instead of the $21, there is a discount and you'll get it for $20.
Next month's distribution at this location is on November 22nd, and Thanksgiving food packages will be available for purchase and donation, consisting of a turkey with all the traditional fixings. Public Health and Fare for All say the goal is simple: make sure no one goes hungry this holiday season.
Fare for All is a really great way to stretch your food budget, get more food for your money, celebrate with your family regardless of how much money you might have.
Fare for All has express locations all over the metro area, and in Bloomington there is a traditional center located at Creekside Community Center. Traditional centers ask residents to pre-order their package and pay ahead of time, whereas at the express locations, like in Richfield, residents come between certain hours and pick up their food and pay at that time. For a complete list of distribution dates and locations, visit www.fareforall.org. It's now time for a short break. When we come back, we'll have a guest in studio with us to talk about ways to winterize your home while conserving energy. Stay right here.
It's your community, it's your airport. Being aware and vigilant is the best defense against the ongoing threat of terrorism. As users of the airport, you are our eyes and ears. If you see anything suspicious at or near MSP International Airport, report it to the airport police.
The very real and deliberate threat that this nation faces is not confined to the airport. If you see suspicious activity anywhere in the community, report it to your local police department. You are an important part of keeping our communities safe.
Keep an eye out and keep our airport safe.
Be aware, be vigilant, and be safe.
Welcome back to Bloomington Today. We're now happy to welcome back Neely Crane-Smith. Neely works for the Center for Energy and Environment in Minneapolis.
Yes.
Thanks for being back here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the city's Housing and Redevelopment Authority has long worked with the Center for Energy and Environment, and today we'd like to discuss a few ways that residents can reduce their winter utility bills.
Yes, it's starting.
Yes, and you know, I've read that the furnace is the largest natural gas consumer in a home. What can residents do to keep their furnace running efficiently and as less costly as possible?
Yes, great question, because heating can account for up to 55% of a homeowner's energy costs throughout the year. So keeping your furnace and boiler healthy helps you save money and also hopefully prevent any nasty breakdowns in the middle of winter.
Yes.
So most importantly is to get your furnace or boiler checked out at least once a year by a technician. So now is perfect to have them over, just make sure everything's functioning properly. Secondly, if you have a furnace, is replacing your furnace filters every 3 months.
Okay.
If those filters get dirty, you know, they pull a lot of air in through your home, things like animal hair, dust can build up, then your furnace just has to work a lot harder to cycle air through. That reduces the efficiency and costs more. Last but not least, if you have heating equipment that is of voting age or older, so getting around to be 18, 20 years old, it's a good time to think about replacing it with a higher efficiency model.
Okay, so there's a shelf life to those kinds of things as well.
Exactly.
Another thing, making a home airtight. A lot of the older homes maybe don't have the ceiling that they once may have had. What are some ways that residents can keep the cold air out and the warm air in?
It's a great question, because houses are like bodies. They do need to breathe. So we do want a certain amount of air coming in and out of our homes to keep us healthy. So when there's too much air or not enough air is where we start to get into some problems.
Okay.
Most homes in Minnesota don't have a problem with not enough air. Things like air leaks can come in through your outlets and your switch plates, outdoor faucets, dryer vents. And actually, the #1 source of air leaks in a Minnesota home is through uninsulated walls.
Wow.
So simple air sealing and caulking of windows, doors, and some of those areas I mentioned can help. But also looking at your insulation is going to make a big difference to your home's air tightness.
Making your home airtight is crucial to obviously saving money on your utility bills. But as you had said, having a certain amount of air in and keeping a certain amount of air out, it can change the quality of the air within your house. How can residents make sure they have good quality air inside their homes when they obviously need to be closed up?
That's a great question. And one thing I hear about a lot in the winters is people talking about moisture forming on the inside of their windows. Moisture condensation on the inside of windows is a great sign that houses aren't breathing well. It's not usually the fault of the window, but sometimes it means there's a lot of moisture built up in your house and it doesn't have a good way to get out, so it's forming on windows. That's a chance where something like having a constantly ventilating fan in your bathroom might seem like it uses more energy, but it's something that will help your home breathe and make sure that moisture is venting out.
Okay.
To make sure that your home is breathing properly, what I recommend is getting an energy audit from your utility that includes a blower door test. Now, blower doors are a really simple test, and actually Minnesota is the home of the largest blower door manufacturer in the world.
What is a blower door? I've never even heard of that before.
Blower doors, it's a piece of equipment. They set them up in your door frame, basically a big canvas frame that has a large fan in it. Technicians will turn on that fan. It's not disruptive, but what it'll do is measure in cubic feet per minute how much air is coming in and out of your home.
Oh.
So then they'll compare that number to the size of your home, how many people live there, you know, the wind that day, a couple factors, and that will tell them, is there too much air or not enough air?
Okay.
And that'll be able to tell them, do you need something like additional air sealing, or maybe is additional ventilation the best option for your home?
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Well, switching gears a little bit, ice dams are something we are hearing more and more about
Yes.
when it comes to Minnesota winters. And especially last winter was ice dams were a hot topic. Why don't you start by first off telling us what an ice dam is?
Yes, ice dams, huge issue. Last year was actually record for ice dams in Minnesota. What happens? Ice dams are formed when hot air can escape from our nice warm heated homes into an unheated attic. A lot of people, the first symptom of ice dams you might see are really big icicles forming off the side of your home.
Okay.
But what happens is hot air will escape up through what we call attic bypasses, and that's any place that air can get up into your attic. It's usually around things like chimneys, plumbing stacks, recessed lighting, drop soffits, anything that creates that passage.
Okay.
Hot air will come up, melt the snow on your roof, and after a while that melting snow will form a dam, usually on your gutters or a place that's colder. After a while, if that snow that's melting can't get past your dam, it'll be forced up onto your shingles. That can allow water into your attic, into your walls, into your ceiling, lots of places you just do not want water to go.
Well, leading into the next question, I mean, obviously water in your home is nothing that, is not something anyone wants. What kind of damage are we talking about here if an ice dam is left unnoticed or uncared for?
Well, ice dams left uncared for, unstopped, can damage your shingles. They can also dampen your insulation and cause wet walls and roofs, which can then lead to issues like mold.
Oh, and that's obviously never good. How can homeowners avoid ice dams from even forming?
Great question, because what we saw a lot this past winter was people treating the symptom and not the problem. So if you're getting on your roof and you're putting up heating coils or you're putting salt up there to melt the ice dams, what you could actually be doing is causing damage to your roof that can shorten its lifespan. Not to mention, it is really, really, really important that no one gets on their roof and tries to do anything about ice dams. It's very dangerous. The good news is stopping ice dams is actually one of the most cost-effective ways that you can reduce energy use in your home, and that's by sealing your attic bypasses and make sure you have sufficient attic insulation.
Okay. So the people that are up on their roofs shoveling them off?
Oh goodness, no.
We don't want that?
No roofs.
Okay. All right. Well, perfect. We'd like to thank Neely Crane-Smith for being here with us today. If you have any questions about tips about avoiding ice dams or anything else we discussed here today, visit the Center for Energy and Environment's website at www.mncee.org. We'll be right back.
What do you want from the all-powerful laws?
I want a brain.
People wonder how I got to be the all-knowing Wizard of Oz. And sure, smoke and mirrors help, but you gotta have the smarts to go with the show. I go to USA.gov, the official source for government info. Pick up the student loan form to your right. Your other right. Next!
I need a heart.
Medicare? Heart?
You're covered. Next!
I want to go back to Kansas.
Kansas? Oh, that's a toughie. Back to USA.gov, passport applications, travel advisories. Uh-oh, looks like the perfect time to find that new government job.
For federal and state government information, there's no place like USA.gov.
Farewell!
Now available by mobile.
Welcome back to Bloomington Today. It's now time to conclude our three-part hotel inspection series. On past episodes of Bloomington Today, we've highlighted what city health inspectors look for when checking hotel pools and rooms to determine if they are safe and clean environments for guests. Today, we'll take a look at the final item, restaurant inspections. Take a look. For decades, the city has maintained a food safety program to protect the health of the public, ensuring that anyone who dines in Bloomington restaurants has a safe and pleasant experience. For health inspectors like Monica Loy, there are two big things to look for.
Some of the key things that we look for, really the main focus of our inspections, is looking at the risk factors for foodborne illness. Those are the things that have been most often implicated in foodborne outbreaks. One of the main things is proper hand washing on part of the employees, making sure that they're washing their hands when they become contaminated, so they don't further contaminate the food. We also spend a lot of time looking at temperature control, whether that be cooking, cooling, reheating, hot and cold holding. We want to make sure that the temperatures are right so that those foods are being kept safe.
Lloyd checks to make sure the dishwashers are properly sanitizing utensils and dishes. And once chefs have prepared food, inspectors check to make sure that food is being stored at the proper temperatures.
In addition to looking at the hot temperatures and the cold temperatures on the cook's line, we also always check all of the refrigeration. This is a walk-in refrigerator. We will check the temperatures to make sure that everything is being held at 41 degrees or below. This is a thermometer that just tests the surface temp.
And in order to maximize food safety in any establishment, having proper hand washing stations for employees is a must.
Each hand washing station should have soap, a nail brush, and disposable toweling. We don't want people drying their hands on a common towel. We like to see people wash their hands for at least 20 seconds.
If you've missed any of the past hotel inspection segments, you can find those by accessing the city's YouTube channel right from the city's homepage. There you can find past episodes of Bloomington Today as well as other city productions as well. And on October 26, local business owners and residents gathered at Bloomington Civic Plaza for the Open Your Mind, Open Your Door Disability Employment Awareness Workshop. This conference, supported by the Human Rights Commission, offers employers a chance to learn the benefits of hiring individuals with disabilities.
Whether it's people we know, whether we're volunteering in the community and we make connections, all of a sudden people who have disabilities have faces, don't they? And they have stories. And that's what we want to be thinking about today, is how can we best serve that segment.
It's about abilities and skills. That's what we're talking about when we're dealing with businesses. What is our inventory? Who are we working with? What are their abilities and skills? And how do we talent match that up with businesses? So many times it's so difficult with online applications. It's a very two-dimensional process. Many times our individuals with disabilities are not going to bubble to the top of that pile, but they can be your best workers.
A panel of representatives that have worked with disabled people in the past was also on hand to share success stories.
Mark has mild multiple sclerosis, so he functions really well, but he does have some limitations with walking and standing. But I was able to find him a car detailer position at a really great automobile dealership here in the Twin Cities.
Mark has been employed for 3 years at this dealership, and staff say they love working with him. If you missed the Disability Employment Awareness Month workshop, there are still plenty of resources available to employers and residents alike. Log on to the city's website and keyword search DEAM or DEAN. And while there may not be snow on the ground just yet, it's not too early to secure your spot in the Snow Sports Academy offered through Three Rivers Park District. Snow Sports Academy will be offering downhill skiing and snowboarding for all ages and abilities. Instructors use proven teaching techniques to help students learn these fun and challenging winter sports. Youth and adult registration is currently going on. It began on October 24th for lessons that will take place at Highland Ski and Snowboard Area, located at 8800 Chalet Road. Private and semi-private lesson registration will begin on November 9th and 10th. To reserve your spot, log on to threeriverspark.org or call 763-694-7800. On Saturday, October 29th, hundreds of residents came together at Civic Plaza to celebrate their heritage and learn about different services by participating in the Latino and Somali Information Fair. This free event, put on by the Human Rights Commission, provided Bloomington residents the opportunity to connect with a variety of local and state government agencies, as well as nonprofit organizations sharing a wide range of information. Some of the topics included legal matters like citizenship, post-secondary education, transportation, healthcare, and recreation. According to Human Services staff, the turnout for the Somali Latino Fair was quite good. There were 45 exhibitor agencies, approximately 300 guests for the Latino Fair, and 150 guests at the Somali Fair. And that's all the time we have for today. To get more information on city projects, parks, road construction, and events, visit the city's website. To check out past Bloomington Today shows or other city productions, visit Bloomington's YouTube channel, accessible right from the city's homepage. That and so much more is online right now at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us. If Facebook or Twitter isn't your thing, sign up for eSubscribe to have updates sent right to your email or cell phone. This is Bloomington Today, a presentation of the City of Bloomington's Communications Division. I'm Kaylin Cockriel. Thanks so much for joining us.